So tell me, why did you apply to Medwards?
Well, I actually got pulled to Medwards, but sort of when I applied to Cambridge, I didn't necessarily have a particular college that I was massively interested in. More so the idea of Cambridge itself was enough for me to apply. So when I came for open days and looked around, I was very much taken aback by, the old buildings and just the idea of sort of like dark academia and obviously how elite Cambridge is. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. The only thing that can happen is they can say no, and that's fine. And obviously they didn't say no, which is fantastic. But then when I came to Medwards on the offer holders day, I realised what a lovely place it was, all the greenery, the people here were just lovely, and I sort of realised maybe this can be a place for me, and maybe this will be a place that I will thrive in.
And what's it like living here?
It is incredibly sort of academically demanding, I won't lie there, and that's quite unsurprising, you know that coming into Cambridge, but sort of the collegiate system really helps to sort of find welfare support, academic support. It helps you to find a good sort of group of friends and a community, and I think at Medwards we're very lucky to have quite a close-knit cohort, which helps in taking stress out of academia, which is great. And sort of Cambridge itself, it starts to feel quite small the longer you've been here, which is a massive bonus. You don't feel like a number within a massive group of people. Within college you feel like a person. The porters know you, the porters know your name, you get to say hi to them on your way in and your way out, and I think that just really helps to take any stress off your shoulders and just feel like, right, I'm welcome here, this is home for me, which is lovely.
Because a lot of people don't understand that in the college system there are only 100 undergraduates in each year in this college. What's that like, just living with that much smaller cohort of people?
Yeah, it's so interesting because quite soon you get to know a lot of people, you get familiar with a lot of faces, even if you don't know the names. You'll wave to people in the corridor and it'll be very normal. And that was something I was quite used to at home, walking down the street, in the morning saying good morning to, a stranger, and it's quite nice seeing that parallel within college, and back home it's lovely, and especially compared to friends at other universities where there is a massive cohort, and especially with COVID and not being able to go to lectures and stuff in person, they haven't had that experience of meeting so many people and getting familiar with so many people as well. Whereas here, you automatically have a group of, 100 people that you are familiar with, and that you might consider as friends too.
Now, at Medwards, 3/4 of students come from state schools. What would you say to somebody who's in a state school in the north who thinks, oh, Cambridge, that's full of really posh people who all went to private school, it wouldn't be for me?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, there's no denying that there is, there is quite an amount of privately educated people that do go to Cambridge. There's no denying that, especially compared to other universities, but still there is a massive cohort of state educated students here. And sort of it is a daunting process in applying to any university, so never mind one of the most elite universities within the world. So coming from the north and from like a state educated background, I would just say get to grips with Cambridge and get to grips with the college that you're applying for. Have a look online, see what's available in terms of academic, financial support. Have a look at the societies, because they're a great way of finding a niche group of people like you. For example, I'm part of the Northern Society. I'm not on the committee at all, but I go for the social aspect. Sometimes it's nice to just hear another Northern accent.
What does the Northern Society do?
Well, they do a lot of socials. So the first one of the term was just going to a pub, just getting together, sitting around a big table, meeting new people. On Friday they did like a little games night. within, I think it was Christ College. So even there you get the opportunity to see other colleges, meet new people, and it's just a great way to meet people like you and just feel like you're part of something here, which is lovely, obviously.
And finally, what about your subject? What's great about studying your subject at Cambridge?
So I study human social and political sciences, and I'm particular on the sociology track. I absolutely adore my subject. It is absolutely the subject for me. There's no denying that. I love that it's incredibly broad. You have so much freedom within it. So for example, I've just completed a long essay on the concept of microaggressions, which is something I find very interesting.
Very current.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I love about it, just how contemporary the matters are. And even when you're discussing theories from hundreds of years ago, they exist and manifest within today's society as well. So it's so easy to bring in experiences of your own and experiences of your peers and things that you see in your day-to-day life within your subject. So I just feel like I'm really engaged with it, and obviously the supervision system within Cambridge really helps to keep that engagement within your subject, but also to stay academically challenged.
Because you're your tutorials, as most people would think of them, the supervisions here are done in tiny groups, really, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I have quite a few that have been 1-to-1 even, and if not, like 3-to-1 is the max I've ever had. But because of that, even though it is quite daunting in that you're sat there with an academic that is an expert within this field, so yes, that's quite intimidating, but all of a sudden you really get a feel for this subject, you really get to go into great depth of this particular topic. So you do benefit from it, you benefit from that challenge of having to speak to this academic, and really you get to rinse them of their knowledge, which is fantastic.
So to anybody watching this who might think, where shall I apply, where shall I accept the offer? If they're suited to Cambridge, would you say, come?
Absolutely, 100%. It is a daunting, intimidating place, but everyone belongs here, and if the interviewers see it in you that you belong here, you really do. You have that potential. And yes, imposter syndrome does exist, and it's something that myself, like many, deal with on a daily basis. It's not something that disappears after Freshers Week, but that is something, a part of this whole system that you just have to deal with, and it comes with Cambridge, unfortunately, but that does not mean that you're any less deserving of a place here.
Well, also lots of the heads of house are also not from the sorts of background people expect. I mean, I was born in Paisley and brought up in Blackpool, and I suffered a bit of imposter syndrome when I became the president, but I've got over that.
Quite quickly, yeah. Yeah. All of a sudden you do feel like, I mean, you almost get thrown into the deep end.
Yeah.
Within your first week here, you're writing an essay, you don't have time to really think, oh, do I belong here? You don't have time to ponder that question. All of a sudden you do belong here because you are a student doing the work, which is quite helpful. As scary as it is, being thrown into it is, I think, one of the best things about coming to Cambridge.
All right, well, it's fantastic that you're so happy, and thank you very much for doing this little chat to encourage other people to come from where we all come from.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.